Looking back at last week, I thought we had a good couple days of preparation for hosting Stanford. I thought that the guys went out on the field and were able to execute the game plan for about 85 minutes. We were a little disappointed in the slow start that we had in the first 40 seconds where we made it easy for Stanford to capitalize off of one of our mistakes at the back. But again, very proud of the way the guys responded and held firm for about 85 minutes. And I think the biggest takeaway about that match is that we were able to be in control of one of the best teams in the country. So I think it speaks volumes of our group and what we have ahead. So now we're excited to continue to develop and get better and get ready for UNO.
It strikes me, or it struck me, how confident, how much swagger your team still had after week 2. Because I just think, from a conventional standpoint, that would seem like coming down from the week 1 high. It didn't feel like, but your players didn't kind of convey that message. It felt like they still thought, they were as good as they were week 2 or week 1. The results just weren't there.
Yeah.
Do you have any apprehension over how much confidence they have, or do you just want them to take it as far as they can in terms of thinking they're the best in the country?
Yeah, no, I think it's important to be able to have confidence, especially in a sport like soccer where you have 10 other people playing and the field as big as it is. You have to have confidence in what you're trying to do. I think the guys understand that whether or not we were able to get the results we were looking for. When you look back at that St. Louis match and our loss and our 2 ties with Stanford and San Diego State, I think the most important takeaway is that we think we were the better team in those matches, and so I think that's why this group continues to believe in their ability, even though we didn't get the results that we were looking for in those matches that we spoke about. But I think it's a good thing to continue to believe in yourself and be confident. Although there is a fine line between maybe somebody that's a bit cocky and someone that believes in their ability or in their teammates' ability, and that's where I think us as a staff come in to make sure that our feet are planted firmly on the ground and we stay humble in the process.
How much do you think this non-conference schedule has helped with just getting your guys really prepared for conference play?
For sure, when we schedule out, we're diligent in making sure that we're scheduling opponents that will prepare us for our conference. Our conference is one of the best in the country out of the 24, although I know that a lot of our conference foe are a little bit on a slow start in non-conference play this season. But when you look at the last 5 years, the Big East has been, top 3 out of the 24 in the country. And so we understand that we have to make sure that we're prepared by the time we hit conference play. And so this is why when we schedule, we want to make sure we schedule heavy in the non-con. And so I think these games were challenging and they've helped prepare us. And we still have 2 more in UNO and UMKC before we get into into conference play. And so, that's always our intent to play some really strong competition early on so that once we do start conference, we're well prepared.
There's so much going into this week from an emotional standpoint. How do you even begin to prepare your guys for that? Like, obviously UNO is UNO, right? The rivalry's just there, but then I think you're going to honor that
2000 group?
Yeah, that runner-up team against the team that beat them, and their first-year head coach scored in that match for UConn. How are you dealing with that from the staff on down in terms of all the emotions that are going to be poured into this week?
Oh, one day at a time. Obviously we're excited for what's coming up in the next 7 days. I think we have 3 matches in the next 6 days. But we take it one day at a time, one opponent at a time. And so right now, all our focus, all our efforts are going into the preparation for UNO. And we understand that there's 2 Division I programs in Omaha. And that's a special opportunity to be able to go out for bragging rights and play in that game. And so I think it's a great opportunity for our community to come together and watch 2 great teams go out on the field and compete.
Kind of talk about the week that Jackson had and, claiming honors for Big East and just the impact he had in getting you guys to draws in those games.
Yeah. You know, I've known Jackson now for, I don't know, 5 years, 6 years, even though he's only a sophomore. And so I saw him at a very young age, and I knew right away that he was going to be a special player. Jackson is an electrifying player in that he's slippery, and he makes things happen in the final third. The one thing I've seen him get much better at in the last year is not just doing it on his own, but utilizing his teammates as well. All the way up until now, Jackson's always been the best on his team, and most of the offensive power has gone through him. And I think now he understands that even though he's very capable of doing things on his own, he also has some other teammates that he can lean on. And so it's great for him to get some individual accolades because he had a lot to do with the 2 results that we got at the week.